Good morning, class. So today we are going to be talking about a very important event that occurred in history. This led to the American Revolution, which led to our independence from England. So today we are going to be talking about the Boston Tea Party. This event happened on December 16, 1773. So why did this happen, you ask? So Parliament, as we know, has been putting a lot of taxes. They were putting the Sugar Act, which taxed sugar and molasses, and they have the Stamp Act, which we talked about. They taxed playing cards, stamps, paper, newspapers, basically anything that is paper quality, they taxed. So we know that the citizens at this time were getting very upset, and now England decided we are going to tax tea. We're going to start a tea act. And they did it really sneakily. So what they did was they taxed very, very little bit. So it was a very little tax, very slight. And they lowered taxes on other things. So they lowered the Sugar Act and they lowered the taxes on the Stamp Act so that nobody would notice this tea act. But nope, people noticed, especially one key figure who you should remember is Samuel Adams. So Samuel Adams said, you know what, this isn't right. We're fighting because we're being taxed without representation. How does the people of England know what we are doing in the colonies? We have no representation in Parliament. It's not fair that they're giving us all these laws, all these taxes. It's time to do something, time to take a stand. And this is when they do it. So Samuel Adams goes to the governor of Massachusetts, who works for Parliament, and he said, we want to protest this tea act. So please send the tea back to England. And the governor obviously was like, no, we have to sell this tea. This is how they make money. Okay. So Samuel Adams gathered, he had this committee that was underground who they would try to start this reform later on. We'll get more into it later. But Samuel Adams gathers Sons of Liberty, and there were 60 altogether. So Samuel Adams and the Sons of Liberty, they dress up as Mohawk Indians and they go into the 3 ships that are in the Boston Harbor. These are the ships that brought the tea. And they raid the ships and dump all the tea into the Boston Harbor. So they dumped 342 chests of tea into the Boston Harbor. And if you're wondering how much that is, it's equivalent to $18,000 in today's money. So this is the Boston Tea Party, and for homework tonight, I want you to create the front page of a newspaper article and tell me about the Boston Tea Party and why it's significant. So, just a little sneak peek into tomorrow's lesson. I would like to just let you know that the consequence of the Boston Tea Party was the Intolerable Acts of 1774. So the Intolerable Acts made the people of Boston have British troops always watching over them. They had to quarter the troops. And basically, there was a long list of punishments for mainly Boston. But it did affect the other colonies too. And this led to the First Continental Congress, which led to the Declaration of Independence and a bunch of other things, which we are going to get to in future lessons. But just so you know, the Intolerable Acts was some of the punishments that we're going to get into is the quartering of British troops, the Boston Poor Act, and the new government in Boston.